and then now we'll get into the conversation.
Thank you very much once again. So what we are seeing is a revamp of tourism in this country, and that is coming on the back of very aggressive marketing efforts, and of course a lot of support from this government. The abolition of visa for countries around the world to visit into Kenya has given us the first initial fruits, and that's what we are seeing. So going into the year 2024 and the coming years, we are looking at a much more higher numbers coming in, and we want to bank on that as a tourism board to increase our marketing efforts and visibility in countries around the world. Yes.
All right, thank you so much for that. And now let's look at 2023, even as we finished last year. What are some of the achievements that we were able to make as a country, and how did we close the markets last year when it comes to the tourism industry?
Okay. 2023 came on the backdrop of the COVID years, 2020 up to 2022. And the financial year that we are looking at is now 2023 into 2024, which has already performed halfway. But if we are to look at the calendar year, we actually performed very well. We've seen an increase of close to 30% from the previous year's numbers. So just to put it in perspective, we are looking at close to 2 million, about 1.9 into December of last year. Comparing that with the previous period of the year before, that was hanging about 1.3 million. So it's a huge jump, and it's a good indication for this country and for us as the tourism board that the efforts are paying off. But much more than that, it's an indication that our country is moving out of the slump that was occasioned by the COVID pandemic. Yes.
All right. And now to a different issue now, with the removal of the visa requirements for people who are visiting the country, does this pose a challenge, especially when it comes to now trying to control the numbers, because everyone will be coming? And how is the sector prepared to handle the kind of numbers that will be coming into the country?
Kevin, we want to see those numbers. We want to see those numbers. Bear in mind that the world right now is going through an inflationary period.
Yes.
Kenya in particular, we need those dollars coming into this country. And besides the abolition of visa requirements, there are other happenings that are going on. For example, we as a tourism board are encouraging more flights into this country. So those flights will bring in more people. Again, with the doors being opened, we want more people to knock into Kenyan doors. So the question you asked was, how are we going to accommodate that?
Yes.
We, as a government, has a very aggressive tourism strategy, which is to build up to 5.5 million. Actually, we are now even looking at 10 million over the coming years. And that cannot happen overnight. So we are going to graduate those numbers year on year. And because the numbers are not coming in as an influx, they are coming in on different years. The tourism, domestic tourism industry is also now going to shape up.
Yes.
We have seen in Kenya, in Nairobi, the upsurge of hotels. If you just look around, and I'm just giving you this as an example. If you look at a small ecosystem like Westlands, for example, there are over 10 hotels that have come up over the last 5 years. So it gives you the indication that the industry is also shaping up in terms of investments. It's also shaping up in terms of the facilities that are required. Looking down into the stakeholders, we are not just seeing the old and established players, we now have the younger players also coming in. And most of them are on the digital platforms.
Yes.
So the ecosystem is adjusting, and this is good news for this country, because where we are saying now that tourism is at number 3, we want to make it number 1 as a foreign exchange earner and retain it at that level. Yes.
All right. And now, you've spoken about the numbers.
Yes.
And you said we can double them to 10 million if
in
possible.
the coming years.
In the coming years.
Yes.
So when you look at, for us to achieve this sort of numbers, if it's 5 million, because I believe by 2028, I had read somewhere it's 5 million up to, by 2028, we are hoping to get those numbers. How do we achieve that number, and how do we even better and say, okay, we can achieve even 7 million in the coming years?
Okay, the short-term target is to hit 5.5
yes.
by 2027. How is that going to happen? What we have seen, and really we want to thank the government and His Excellency the President for opening up Kenya to the world. So that is step number 1. Step number 2, and these are now activities that we are undertaking as a Kenya Tourism Board, we want to make Kenya a destination that is visitable 365 days a year. All right, how do we do that? We do that by diversifying the offerings that we have. For long, we've been relying on beach and bush, but now we have seen the tourism profile of the modern traveler has changed. He's now much younger. They are looking for more diverse experiences. They are looking for authentic, immersive experiences where they go to visit. They are looking for urban. They are looking for culture. They are looking for food. They are looking for history. They are looking for very different, offerings, which we are now developing as an industry. But if you are now to look at the broader pact, what we have done is we have curated experiences that are a must-see, signature experiences. These are what we are now calling our flagships, all right? And they range from ecotourism, because we've also seen a rise in sustainability issues. So ecotourism becomes a very big issue. We've seen the rise in adventure. So within that package of 61, it's a collection of 61 experiences, we now have all those different, and golfing is one of them. So we go into agro-tourism, we go into culture. We've just come out of the Lamu Festival that was in the first week of December. So all these have been curated, and we are marketing them so that we can make Kenya a January to December destination.
Okay.
Then the second thing is we are also now growing our domestic tourism. Remember, charity begins at home. So we want Kenyans to visit Kenya. We want people to visit places that are unique to this country, places that they themselves have not known or even heard about before. So we are bringing all this to light. And with those activities, both bringing up domestic tourism, we'll make sure that even when the international arrivals fall a little low, we'll be able to take care of that seasonality. And then, of course, now with the Magical Kenya Tourism with the Magical Kenya experience, signature experiences, then we are able now to accommodate a varied offering for the international visitor.
Okay. And now, let's stick with the local tourism.
Okay.
Let's look at the inter-county tourism. If one person wants to move from Nairobi into Nakuru to view, how are we going to make sure that at least we market this within Kenya, so that we influence even people who might not really have an idea of what is happening in another area in the country? Because I believe a person from the eastern side of Kenya or the western side of Kenya might not have gone to the other side of Kenya, maybe the Wajir side of Kenya, the northeastern part of Kenya. So how do we market this across the country to make sure that at least almost every county knows that this county has this to offer, this county has this to offer?
Okay, so what we are doing is we are mapping counties sequentially. So, for example, within Nairobi, what is available within Nairobi? Say within an hour's drive within Nairobi, within 2 hours drive, and there's a lot. You can't exhaust it. Coffee and tea farms are just within 15 kilometers out of Nairobi. And that is just one. We have lots of adventure. And I'm just taking Nairobi because it's what we know, that's where we are. And we are telling people, instead of lounging in your locals on a Saturday or on a long weekend, you can treat your family to a totally new experience. Because at the end of the day, what is life about? Life is about experiences. And those are the experiences that you want to bring out. So Nairobi is just an example. Then we can go to a place like Nakuru. You've mentioned Nakuru. Besides the national park, what is there? So we are looking at all these towns. And in this regard, we are working very closely with the counties, because remember, each county has a tourism CS,
yes,
so to speak. So we want to work with them. We are not working independently. We want to work with those people so that they will tell us the key touristic attractions within their locality. Then we go to Eldoret, we go to Kisumu, we go to all these other places.
Okay.
Eventually, we shall now take that collection and magnify their visibility and their awareness levels, so that now people can traverse counties, they can go to places they have not been to, they can be able to expand and treat themselves, because this country is extremely rich. Already what is coming out from the pilot that we have started working on is extremely encouraging. And you shall be hearing us screaming a lot in the coming months, especially on social media, because a lot is happening on the digital front.